I was awarded an MBE in the New Year's Honours List in the new year of 2000, which was very nerve-wracking because I was quite young. And I remember when I went in, she said at the time I was the youngest person ever to be invested. She asked me what had I done, did I enjoy what I did? It was a beautiful moment. And then I met her that same year at the Royal Garden Party. And at that event, I didn't have to wear uniform. And Sir Robin Janvin, who was her private secretary, recognised me from my investiture and pulled me out, and I got to speak with the Queen again, but this time feeling a little bit more relaxed rather than receiving an award.
I met her when I was after my injury. I was at Headley Court. We were doing a rehabilitation, and we've been offered to go to Sandown Park for racing, which was a military Gold Cup is held every year. We didn't know that we were going to meet Queen. In the evening, we went to Buckingham Palace and we met Queen. And I actually took my wife, and my son was about 3 years old. And we took some Thomas and Tang engines, and because there's only 2 children there, I don't know how they allowed us. And you know, when we were meeting Her Majesty, you know, my son and one of the another child was playing Thomas and Tang engine with the track in the corner. So yeah, it is great.
I've been very fortunate to meet her in person. 2 years ago I was involved in the Royal Windsor Horse Show, and I was part of the just the show jumping team, and our team actually won the event, and the Queen presented us the award, so it was a real honour to be able to go up and collect the award from her. There was a nice presence about her. She didn't seem to she didn't want to make a big fuss, is the best way to say it. She would just like to come round, have a look round and see the horses, and you could just see the love she has for the horses. It's amazing.
On the 6th of October 2006, on the occasion of the disbandment of the Royal Irish Regiment Home Service Battalions, the Queen had flown across to Belfast to attend that parade, and my wife and I were there. I was Chief of the General Staff at the time. The parade was over, the Queen left, she was going back to the airport to get her flight home. I got a telephone message to say that our aircraft had gone US and that we were grounded. Very shortly after that, a message came from the Queen saying, well, if you hurry up, I'll give you a lift back to London. The Queen was there and greeted us and said, right, you sit here, you sit there, and we'll all have tea. I had forgotten earlier that I had told her that actually that was the day of our daughter's 18th birthday, and that's really why we had to get back to London in a hurry. So after we'd had tea and we reached London, the Queen then said, well, give my best wishes to your daughter for her birthday. So that was very special to be on her flight, having tea with her in order to get to our daughter's 18th birthday party.
I met the Queen at the camp a long time ago. She came to the SAS camp and I ended up chaperoning her. That was a fond memory, but I have to say probably the fondest would be when I got my MBE, you know, meeting her on that occasion with my parents and my daughter. So that was probably the fondest. I mean, she was just such an hard-working woman and so dignified, you know, everything she did. And she just made people feel at ease, no matter who you were. And bearing in mind some of the things she's had to deal with for her reign, she's just been a steady rock all the way through. And from my personal experience of meeting her, she just made me feel, you know, you're meeting the Queen, so you're kind of naturally a little bit nervous. She just made you feel like you sat with your grandmother. And she was just such a sweet person, such a, you know, smart, intelligent, dignified person.
We've benefited from a strong bond relationship with Her Majesty forever. The bands, there was always a band permanently embarked in Royal Yacht Britannia. I had the privilege of being the pianist in the Royal Yacht Britannia for a couple of years. So there's personal memories, and I think, you know, the corporate memory and the respect that we had, you know, collectively for Her Majesty as our boss, but also those personal memories.
When I became First Sea Lord in 2016, so this is now 30 years on from my time in Britannia, But there was a very special moment at my first audience as First Sea Lord when she put me at my ease, reminded me how many First Sea Lords that she had worked with during her reign, and also showed me very clearly how much she knew about the service.
She's been on parade when I was on parade, but she was such an important figure in my life, going through training and obviously being the head of the armed forces, and just being immensely proud of the country's royal family. I think I speak for the squadron in that.
I've had one-to-one audiences with her in Buckingham Palace to discuss both the Royal Regiment of Artillery and Sapper, and I had the privilege of escorting her round the King's Troop, Royal Horse Artillery, when she came to review them. 70 years to the day since her father, His Majesty King George VI, reviewed the troop. She had a unique ability, despite the number of engagements she had, the number of people she met, to make each and every person feel very special.